And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another movie review, and today I am reviewing Zoolander, released in 2001. A movie that you probably have seen through some memes or other ways. I don't know. Watched it on New Year's Eve, so that's how long the backlog is. Told you in the year review video. I was not lying when I said we were about half the year already set to go. But yeah. So I got a lot of thoughts on this movie, though. I've been wanting to watch it for a while and finally gotten around to watching it. So I got a lot of thoughts. Let's just jump right into it, shall we? First off, I have to say, what a loaded cast this is. Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson, Will Ferrell. It's a few other guys that I can't remember the names of off the top of my head. They got Vince Vaughn in this movie, but he doesn't even say a line, and he gets for okay. Well, okay. I can't say that he gets. I guess it can't be that surprising. I mean, I did already review Willy's Wonderland. And that main character doesn't even say one word throughout the entire hour and a half long film, and Vince Vaughn only is in this movie for maybe 5-10 minutes. That's it, and but he doesn't say anything. But my question is, why get an actor like Vince Vaughn if he's not even going to say anything? You know, just my thoughts. You know. There are also a lot of celebrity cameos. I mean, some of them ones that I remember off the top of my head. Gwen Stefani, fucking Donald Trump for some reason is in this movie. I mean, they got. There's a few others that they. Limp Bizkit's in this movie, so that really dates it. There's a member of NSYNC in this movie, or Backstreet Boys. I don't remember whatever the hot boy band was at the time. Is in this movie as well, on top of course all the other big actors already in this movie. So it's pretty wild how like crazy how like many big faces and big names are in this movie. And those movies, to me, when I see a cast as loaded as this one, and you would expect a lot out of this movie. Now it is a comedy. So of course you got to know that going in. There's some funny lines in this movie. There's some really funny action scenes, some funny one-liners, and some cool things that just kind of go all over the place. Some of it has not aged well, though, including not one but 2 instances of blackface in this movie. 2. Okay. There was also, like, this movie was released shortly after 9/11, and so as such they had to cut out a lot of stuff that they had, like, that would have been offensive about 9/11. I'm kind of interested to see what that would have looked like. I know they had to edit, like, the Twin Towers out of the New York skyline and whatnot, but I wonder what else they had to cut. That would have been interesting. A lot of this movie, though, screams 2001. The way the shots are lighted, the logos, the clothing choices, the technology, a lot of the pop culture, like the store references, and they mention a lot of stores that are dead or really close to dead. They mentioned Blockbuster. They mentioned Yonkers. Who the fuck has talked about Yonkers in the last 8 years, 10 years, whatnot? They mentioned a lot of other ones. So it really does date the movie, especially with that fashion show scene where they... where it's like everybody's wearing this really out there clothing, and you've got like that part right there near the beginning of the movie is, I think, what mostly screams 2001. But there are a few other instances of that throughout the movie too, including like the references and whatnot. I will say with the acting job, I mean, you got a lot of big names in this movie, right? So you would expect the actors to deliver on what they're asked to, and for the most part, I think they do. Owen Wilson's character, they're all pretty weird characters. Actually, I can't really name one specific. They're all pretty weird, and I think that's just because of how they were written. I think Will Ferrell's character is really weird. Um, Owen Wilson's character is very mysterious, and then just has like flip near the end of the movie, and then he becomes more of what I know Owen Wilson to be in movies, along with a few others. Ben Stiller, though, I know they were supposed to be going for like this funny look, but like it's really weird when he just like says a random ass line that hits a "Oh, I committed tax fraud." And they really hype up this. I really do though, like how they go about like hyping up and then also delivering on the Magnum look. I thought that was going to be very stupid and cheesy, and it was going to not really deliver on the hype because they mention it so many times throughout the film, and then out of nowhere, like at the very end, when you wouldn't, I thought it was going to be kind of this like stage thing where they're like he's doing this fashion run thing, and then he hits the Magnum look, whatever the fuck that was supposed to be. But no, during the final battle of the movie, yes, there is a final battle. There's a lot of battles in this movie actually. He just hits it out of random, and I think it's is delivered so well, and it actually delivers on the hype that I think it was built up to be in the movie. So I commend the movie for going about that route. Some other scenes that I liked. The dance scene between Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller, the two main characters of this movie. I thought that was pretty epic. Cool montage there. Of course, Michael Jackson's "Beat It" being over it really, really helped as well, and a lot of other cool stuff. The final battle scene, like I already talked about, is pretty good. I think the action really picks up, and it actually finally starts to tie a lot of the things together that go on in this movie. Because I will say, this movie is all over the place. Um, you have in general like a set like plot that they're following, but there's a lot of times where there's a lot of parts to that plot that are either hidden or just aren't explained enough to make sense. And so when they happen, you're confused, and it starts to divert away from the main plot. And then at the end, in this final battle scene, they kind of tie a lot of it back together, but not all of it. Not all of it. And this movie is also a shorter movie, and so I think with all of the jumping that they do and the branching off and everything like that, I don't think every core piece to the plot and to the movie that I think what they were going for, it doesn't really exemplate great pacing, and as such I think it actually hurts the movie that it is that short. I think they could have gone for another 20 minutes, 30 minutes, still would have been under 2 hours, and I think it would have been good to get a lot of those points across and maybe have them make more sense. Maybe that's not what they were intending to do. Maybe it wasn't supposed to make sense. Maybe that's not what it was supposed to be. And I could see that. There's a lot of really out there stuff, funky stuff in this movie. And so maybe that's what they were going for. But for me, I think it could have benefited from at least another 20 minutes. And even so, I think there were things that they could have even cut out of the film to then further drive along some of these plots and give a little bit more exposition if they wanted to keep it a little shorter. But alas, oh well. That tea scene, though, as well, when they get high on tea. Fuck me if they don't put cocaine in that shit. Well, I guess they wouldn't put cocaine. I think they put LSD in there, but not. I don't know. I don't know, man. Some weird stuff happened in there. But I also do like the ending. The ending of this movie is very wholesome. You know, kind of where the character goes off with and stuff. Especially going away from more of what the they do poke a lot of fun at the fashion industry and do a lot of serious conversations about how the fashion industry is a very toxic and negative industry. They touch on a lot of that near the end of the movie, which is really good. And it really spins it back into this kind of like goofy, crazy, supposed to just be, very, not taken super seriously movie, and puts a lot of serious topics into it at the end, and then also has a very wholesome ending with the whole nonprofit thing that he did, and education place and whatnot, and also, having a kid and whatnot. That's pretty cool. That was very cool. So I like that. But overall, I might have came into this movie with a little bit too high of expectations. But it's still, I thought, was pretty good. Nothing crazy. I think I came into this thinking it was going to be kind of something like Wedding Crashers, and I don't think it's on par with Wedding Crashers, despite having a lot of the same main actors. I think at least 3 of the same main actors are in that movie, and are also in this one. So that's kind of weird. But I'd have to give it still a good. I'll give it a 6. No, I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7. I enjoyed it. Nothing crazy though. But if you're a big Ben Stiller fan, a big Owen Wilson fan, hell, even a big Will Ferrell fan, or just a big comedy fan in general, or just like weird, funky movies, this is one I think you will enjoy. So just don't go into it with super high expectations. Anyways, guys, though, that's going to do it for this review. If you've ever seen Zoolander, I'd love to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And that's going to do it for this video as well, so stay tuned for much more racing content, including more movie reviews and other awesome stuff. Until next time, see you guys later. Goodbye.